There are moments in football when fate hands a player an open door, and what happens next rewrites conversations across the club and the fan base. That's exactly what we're watching with Gerard Martín right now. A young left-back whose journey from local pitches in Cornella to the bright lights of Camp Nou has suddenly become one of Barcelona's most talked about stories. Alejandro Balda's recent time on the sidelines opened a space, and Martín walked straight into it, not as a makeshift patch but as a player who demanded attention. Almost 520 minutes of competitive action this season isn't just a number. It's evidence that when opportunity meets preparation, club dynamics change. Martín hasn't arrived as a headline-hunting rookie. He's arrived carrying years of work from a club many viewers barely know how to pronounce, and that backstory is central to why this matters. Cornellà is a small place in the shadow of bigger Catalan names, but it has a remarkable habit of producing talent. Martín's path there, rising through youth ranks, making his senior debut while still technically a youth player, and featuring in close to 60 matches before Barcelona came calling, speaks to a grounding many elite youngsters lack. He didn't simply land at Barca as another shiny prospect. He earned first-team minutes at a lower league club and then used that foundation to progress into Barca B and, more recently, the senior setup. The pride he expresses when talking about Cornella is genuine. Seeing his old shirt hanging up and knowing where he started isn't nostalgia for cameras. It's the proof of a childhood dream coming true. That emotional thread sells itself to fans because it humanizes a player and connects elite football to the grassroots that feed it. On the pitch, Martín has grown more assured with each outing. He's not yet a finished product, and no one is claiming he's Jordi Alba V2. But his defensive choices, his timing when joining attacks, and the calm with which he has taken responsibility down the left channel show a footballer who belongs at this level. Managers notice these traits. Hansi has publicly left the door open for Martín to continue getting chances, and that alone is telling. When a coach signals willingness to trust a young option, it forces the club's decision-makers to choose between two paths: lean into the academy's development and give the kid a longer run, or look externally for an immediate fix. For a club like Barcelona, where financial strategy, squad balance, and brand identity all hang on such calls, this is not a trivial choice. The implications extend beyond the immediate left-back slot. Martín's ascent underscores how crucial lower-tier clubs and tight-knit youth systems are to elite squads. Barcelona's ability to bring in a player who has the temperament of someone who played senior games at Cornella and then adapt him to the Barca DNA is a win for recruitment strategy. It also signals to other youngsters that there's a clear route. Perform consistently, even if it's away from the spotlight, and the bigger clubs will come knocking. For supporters, Martín's story is both hopeful and practical. Hopeful because it's the kind of fairy tale fans love. Practical because it may reduce pressure to spend in the transfer market and instead invest time in the academy. And yet, realism is necessary. Balda will return and competition will resume. The smart storyline here isn't to one replaces the other, but the creation of a deeper, richer squad where internal competition elevates everyone. Martín's gratitude, his talk of Cornella as his home and his pride at wearing Barca's jersey gives him a platform, but performance will keep him there. Watching how Flick rotates, how the coaching staff refine Martín's roles, and how the player reacts to the inevitable spotlight will tell us whether this is a temporary burst or the start of a lasting career at Camp Nou. For now, the moment is deliciously simple. A local boy who played senior football in a modest club has come to Barcelona and seized his chance. He has forced managers, fans, and pundits to ask new questions about trust, youth development, and the balance between buying and building. Keep an eye on the left flank. Gerard Martín is not just filling in, he's auditioning for a future that, until recently, most people assumed belonged to someone else. That's the drama of football. The next chapter is already being written, and it could reshape Barca's season and their approach to talent for years to come.